Tiana Harris had a habit she never admitted out loud. Every time her roommate, Shantae Robinson, bought a new luxury wig, Tiana would borrow it without asking. Shantae had the kind of wigs other girls save for months to afford. Bone straight 30 inches, deep wave HD lace, ginger orange body waves that glowed in the sun. Whenever Shantae left the apartment, Tiana would nibble her lip, open the wig closet, and pick whichever one called her name for the day. Then she'd step out feeling like Beyoncé at the Grammys. Shantae was generous, but she wasn't clueless. She noticed her wigs would return stretched, smelling like someone else's perfume, and sitting a little crooked on the wig stand. Still, she said nothing, until the day she bought a new custom-made wig from Atlanta. It was Burmese curly, perfectly plucked, with invisible knots. Shantae whispered to it like a newborn baby and warned the apartment, "Ain't nobody touching this one, not a soul." Tiana nodded sweetly, all while planning to wear it first. 2 days later, Shantae traveled to visit her aunt, leaving the apartment quiet and temptingly still. Tiana paced the living room like a cat eyeing a bowl of fish. The new wig was practically humming her name. "Just one wear," she whispered to herself. "Just one picture. Nobody has to know." With shaky excitement, she tiptoed to Shantae's room and opened the wig box like it held treasure. The wig shimmered under the light. The curls bounced with an elegance that made Tiana gasp. She slipped it on, feeling a surge, confidence, vanity, maybe even magic. Her reflection in the mirror was flawless. She strutted around the apartment, posting videos on Snapchat and TikTok, carefully avoiding angles that showed the background of the apartment. Little did she know, this wig was carrying a story older than both of them. Tiana headed to a friend's cookout wearing the wig, drawing stares the moment she walked in. Compliments showered her from all directions. But after an hour, she felt the wig tighten on her scalp, not painfully, but like a firm grip. She brushed it off as the glue drying. Then she felt a faint tug, as though someone was gently pulling her head backward. She laughed nervously and adjusted it, but the tug became sharper. Suddenly, in the middle of the backyard, the wig seemed to shift on its own, sliding half an inch to the left. "Girl, your wig is moving," someone whispered. Tiana's heart slammed. She ran to the bathroom, hands shaking. As she looked in the mirror, she could have sworn the curls were rearranging themselves. The moment she tried to pull it off, the wig clamped tighter, like it had grown roots into her scalp. Tiana yelped in pain. The door shook as her friends knocked. "T, you good?" She lied. "Yeah, I'm straight." But sweat poured down her forehead. She tugged again, and hissed when it pulled her head forward sharply, almost like it slapped her. Terrified, she whispered, "Okay, Shantae did not tell me she bought a possessed wig." As she stared at herself, the lace glowed faintly like moonlight. The curls lifted slightly as if breathing. Tiana burst out of the bathroom, grabbing her bag, her heart racing. She left the cookout at top speed, ignoring confused stares. At home, she spent hours fighting with the wig. Ice, oil, steam, nothing worked. Out of pure desperation, she Googled the wig brand. That was when she discovered the legend. The Burmese curly wig was handcrafted by a spiritual hair artisan known as Mama Okoro, a woman said to infuse her wigs with memory. Each wig formed a bond with its rightful owner. Owners who mistreated the wigs, or worse, let thieves use them, reported strange experiences. Hair tightening, scratch marks on their scalps. Some even claimed the wigs whispered their owner's name at night. At first, Tiana thought it was all superstition, until she heard something faint. A whisper, a breath. Khan, Tiana froze. The wig pulsed with heat, and her scalp throbbed. When she moved toward her bedroom door, the wig yanked her head backward so sharply she stumbled. Okay, this is crazy," she cried. She tried calling Shantae, but the call kept failing. The lights flickered. The curls rose like flames, coiling tighter. Suddenly, the wig dragged her head downward, nearly forcing her to kneel. "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have worn it," she screamed. But the wig didn't loosen. Instead, it began pulling her towards Shantae's room, as a demanding reunion. Every step felt like someone gripping her braids and marching her like a soldier. Just as she reached the wig closet, the apartment door opened. Shantae stepped in, dropping her bags. She froze when she saw Tiana, eyes puffy, wig crooked, curls twitching like live wires. Tiana, Desire Harris. What did you do? Tiana burst into tears, confessing everything. Every wig she borrowed, every lie she told, and how this new wig had turned into a spiritual enemy. Shantae's face softened, only slightly. Girl, you don't borrow Mama Okoro wigs. They don't like strangers. She approached slowly. Don't move. These wigs know me. Shantae gently touched the lace, whispering a soft chant her grandmother had taught her. The wig's curls slowly settled. The glow dimmed. Tiana felt the grip loosen, like unclenching fingers. But when Shantae tried to lift the wig off, it resisted. She placed a hand on Tiana's cheek. You need to apologize. Properly. Tiana shut her eyes and whispered, voice trembling, I'm sorry for wearing you without permission. You belong to Shantae. Please let me go. The wig sighed, a real soft sigh, and then at last lifted from her scalp without a single hair strand lost. After the ordeal, Tiana sat wrapped in a blanket, while Shantae applied soothing scalp oil. Though she wanted to be mad, she couldn't ignore how terrified Tiana had been. Next time, Shantae said gently, just ask. A wig isn't worth your peace of mind. Tiana nodded vigorously. Girl, after today, I'm done borrowing anything. I'm traumatized for life. Shantae laughed. But deep down, she hoped the experience had truly taught Tiana something about boundaries, respect, and consequences. Weeks later, all was peaceful. Until one night, Shantae went to sleep with the Burmese wig resting safely on a silk stand. In the middle of the night, she heard a soft knock on her bedroom door. She opened it to find Tiana standing there, trembling. Tiana, what's wrong? She whispered. Tiana's eyes were wide with fear. Slowly, she lifted her hand, revealing the wig sitting on her palm. Seichana, I swear I didn't touch it. It walked into my room by itself. And from the wig, barely audible, came a whisper. Shantae snatched the wig from Tiana's trembling hands and held it close to her chest. The curls were calm, still, and lifeless, yet Shantae could feel a faint hum under her fingertips, almost like a heartbeat. It walked into your room, she whispered. Tiana nodded rapidly, eyes glossy. Girl, it creaked open my door like a grown adult. I heard steps, soft, light ones. The apartment suddenly felt colder. The two roommates slowly backed into the living room. The clock ticked louder than usual. Shantae placed the wig gently on the couch. Nothing happened. No movement. No glow. But the air felt heavy watching them, as if the wig wasn't the only thing awake. The next morning, Shantae dialed the number she found on an old hair forum, Mama Okoro's Spiritual Hair Atelier. A raspy voice answered. You were calling about the Burmese curls. It wasn't a question. Shantae felt her throat tighten. Ma'am, I think the wig followed my roommate during the night. Mama Okoro sighed, the sound long and tired. The wig is bonded to you. It returns when it senses fear, disloyalty, or danger. And your roommate, she disrespected the spirit within the hair. Tiana, listening from the doorway, gasped so loudly Shantae nearly smacked her. Mama Okoro continued, you must perform the cleansing of ownership, or else the wig will keep seeking balance. Mama Okoro told them what they needed. A bowl of spring water, 3 drops of jasmine oil, a gold comb, real gold, not plated, and the owner's sincerity. Shantae blinked. Where am I supposed to find real gold? Mama Okoro replied, Princess, if you could buy a $600 wig, you can borrow a gold comb. Before Shantae could answer, the line went dead. Tiana swallowed hard and muttered, We are officially in trouble. Shantae glared. You are in trouble. I'm just spiritually inconvenienced. The roommates spent the afternoon visiting everyone they knew. Shantae called her cousin Nia, who only had gold earrings. Tiana asked her best friend Malachi, whose response was, Girl, I'm broke and bald. Why would I own a gold comb? Finally, They visited Miss Deborah, their elderly neighbor who collected vintage beauty items. Miss Deborah opened her door wearing a purple bonnet and a suspicious stare. After hearing the story, she frowned. "MH, a walking wig? You girls need Jesus." But she did have a gold comb, a beautiful, heavy one from her mother's salon in the 1950s. She lent it to them but warned, "Be careful. That comb has seen things." Back home, they gathered everything in the living room. Tiana held the bowl of spring water. Shantae dripped jasmine oil inside. The scent filled the air, sweet, calming, almost too calming. They placed the wig in the center of the rug. The curls twitched. "Okay," Shantae whispered. "Let's begin." She dipped the gold comb into the water and gently slid it through the wig. For a moment, everything was peaceful. A soft glow rose from the curls. Tiana exhaled. "See? Maybe it's not angry anymore." Then the comb jerked. The wig suddenly coiled around the comb, twisting violently. Shantae screamed as the comb flew from her hand and clattered across the floor. The bowl of water shook, spilling droplets that sizzled on the rug like tiny sparks. The wig rose an inch into the air, curls flaring like a lion's mane. "Tiana, don't run!" Shantae yelled as Tiana bolted toward the kitchen. The wig shot a curl toward her like a lasso, wrapping around Tiana's wrist and pulling her backward. Tiana shrieked, "Not again! I just grew my edges back." Shantae dove toward the wig, snatching it with both hands. As Shantae held the wig close to her heart, everything stopped. The wig calmed, slowly. The curls fell still. The glow dimmed. Tiana collapsed onto the floor, panting. Shantae whispered, "It's okay. I'm here. I'm your owner. Relax." Suddenly, a soft vision flickered in Shantae's mind. She saw Mama Okoro sitting in a dim room, weaving the wig by hand. She saw a young girl beside her, Okoro's daughter, placing a charm inside every bundle. "This wig protects loyalty," Mama Okoro said in the vision. "It rejects betrayal." Shantae gasped. "Tiana, the wig thinks you're still unrepentant." Tiana knelt in front of the wig, trembling. "Look, I'm sorry. For real. I shouldn't have touched you. I shouldn't have lied. I shouldn't have posted videos acting like you were mine." The wig lifted slightly, just slightly, as if listening, but then it sank back down and tightened at the ends. "I'm not convinced," Shantae murmured. "It can sense your heart." Tiana threw her hands in the air. "What else does it want? I can bake it a cake." Shantae shook her head. "Girl, it doesn't want a cake. It wants the truth." Tiana swallowed hard. She avoided Shantae's eyes. "Okay, fine." She inhaled slowly. "I didn't borrow your wigs because I wanted to look pretty. I borrowed them because I wanted to be like you. You always look put together. Confidence. Expensive. And I guess I wanted to feel that too." Shantae blinked. Her expression softened. The wig shimmered faintly, as if absorbing the honesty. "I wasn't trying to steal your shine," Tiana whispered, tears forming. "I just wanted a little piece of it." The wig relaxed fully, curling softly like a flower settling at night. The gold comb slid across the floor by itself, stopping at Shantae's feet. She picked it up, smiling gently. "Okay, let's finish this." She combed the wig again, slow and steady. The curls glowed, then dimmed, the spirit quieted. The apartment felt warm again. Tiana wiped her tears and whispered, "Thank you for forgiving me." Shantae hugged her. "Girl, next time just ask." The wig rested peacefully on its stand, no longer twitching, glowing, or whispering. But later that night, as they slept, a soft breeze swept through the apartment. The wig's curls lifted ever so slightly, and it whispered, balance restored. Then it rested, for now. The next morning, the apartment felt unusually peaceful. For the first time in weeks, Tiana woke without fear of waking up with a wig attached to her scalp. She stretched, smiled, and walked to the kitchen humming. Shantae was already there, making pancakes. "You look alive today," she teased. Tiana touched her scalp proudly, still attached to my head and not to the wig. But when they entered the living room, Something was different. The wig stand leaned slightly, and the Burmese curls seemed to be arranged in a new, neater pattern, almost as if someone had styled it during the night. Shantae froze. I didn't touch it. Tiana shook her hands in the air. Don't look at me, girl. I slept like a rock. Yet the wig glowed faintly, as though waking from its own long sleep. Shantae approached the wig cautiously. Okay, what are you up to now? The curls rose just a little, like they were stretching after a nap. The glow was warm, not threatening. Tiana whispered, Maybe it's healed? Shantae reached out a hand and touched the lace. The wig responded by curling gently around her fingers like a cat brushing against its owner. But then, something unexpected happened. A second curl extended and touched Tiana's hand lightly, gently. Tiana stiffened, ready to scream, but the curl didn't tighten or yank. It simply rested on her fingers. Soft, almost affectionate. Is it petting me? She whispered. Shantae swallowed. I think it accepted you. Over the next few days, the wig displayed strange but harmless behaviors. When Shantae entered the room, the curls perked up happily, like a plant chasing sunlight. When Tiana walked by, it turned slightly, acknowledging her presence. It no longer moved at night, at least not into their rooms, but once Tiana woke to find the wig placed closer to the bedroom hallway, as if watching over them. Shantae began to realize something. The wig had bonded to both of them now. Girl, she said one afternoon, this wig done turned into a full-time roommate. Tiana crossed her arms. And it ain't paying rent either. Still, the apartment felt safer than before. Peaceful, almost blessed. They didn't know it yet, but the wig was preparing them for something. One rainy evening, someone knocked on the door. 3 slow, heavy knocks. Shantae peered through the peephole and saw an elderly woman wearing a purple shawl, standing perfectly still. When Shantae opened the door, the woman raised an eyebrow and said, "Where is it?" Her voice was gentle, but powerful. Shantae knew instantly. Mama Okoro? Mama Okoro stepped inside, without waiting for an invitation. Her eyes immediately found the wig, and she nodded. You have restored its balance. Tiana stood behind the couch, half hiding. Mama Okoro looked at her and said, "You, come forward. It knows you now." Tiana nearly fainted. Mama Okoro sat on the couch and placed the wig on her lap. She closed her eyes, humming softly. The wig glowed, brighter than before, bathing the room in gold light. Then she spoke. "This is not just a wig. It is a guardian." Shantae exchanged a look with Tiana. "A what?" Mama Okoro nodded. "My daughter created these wigs to protect women. Women who needed strength, confidence, and spiritual covering." She opened her eyes slowly. But a guardian wig chooses its companions. It tests hearts. It exposes dishonesty. It pushes for balance. Tiana swallowed. "So, it wasn't trying to kill me?" Mama Okoro chuckled. "If it wanted to kill you, you would not be standing, child." Tiana faintly whispered, "Oh, praise the Lord." Mama Okoro leaned forward. "The wig has found favor with both of you, but its final test remains." Shantae frowned. Final test. The room dimmed as though the lights were responding to her words. The wig rose into the air, curls floating like vines underwater. Mama Okoro's eyes glowed faintly. It must know if you can protect it the way it protected you. Suddenly, the apartment door burst open, not physically, but in a vision that flooded their minds. They saw shadows entering, grabbing wigs, tearing lace, burning bundles. A symbol appeared, a serpent-shaped comb. Shantae gasped. "Who are they?" Mama Okoro whispered. "Those who hunt spiritual hair. Wig thieves with dark intentions." Tiana's knees buckled. Mama Okoro opened her shawl and pulled out an object wrapped in silk. When she unwrapped it, Shantae gasped. It was a comb shaped like a serpent, exactly like the one in the vision. This belonged to a powerful hair conjurer. Mama Okoro explained. "He seeks my daughter's creations. He wants the spirits inside them." Tiana leaned forward. "Wait, so someone is trying to steal the wig?" "This wig." Mama Okoro nodded. It senses him creeping closer. Shantae swallowed hard. What does he want with it? Mama Okoro sighed deeply. Control, power, and vengeance. The curls on the wig shivered as if hearing its name call from afar. Later that night, as rain battered the windows, the apartment lights flickered. Shantae and Tiana huddled in the living room, while Mama Okoro meditated silently on the floor. Suddenly, a cold wind swept through the apartment, even though all windows were closed. The wig lifted from its stand once more, but this time, it shook violently. Tiana screamed, "Somebody else is here!" Shantae grabbed her hand. Mama Okoro didn't move. She opened her eyes slowly and whispered, "He has found us." The apartment door rattled as if someone was pressing against it, trying to enter without touching the knob. The wig glowed bright gold. And then everything went still. A tall shadow appeared on the crack of the door. A voice slid through the room like oil. "I can smell the spirit." Tiana backed against the wall. Shantae held the wig tightly. Mama Okoro stood with surprising strength. "You will not have this one, Kasim." The voice chuckled softly. "You cannot stop me forever, Okoro." The lights flickered wildly. The wig wrapped its curls around Shantae's arm protectively. Mama Okoro raised a serpent comb, chanting words older than memory. The walls shook. Something banged against the door, once, twice, 3 times, then stopped. The shadow vanished. Silence fell again, but Shantae's heart pounded. "He's coming back," she whispered. When the apartment finally stilled, Mama Okoro turned to the 2 girls. "You must make a choice," she said. "If you want to keep the wig, you must protect it. Kasim will not stop until he claims it. But if you give it to me, I can hide it." Shantae and Tiana looked at each other. The wig floated between them, glowing softly as if awaiting judgment. Tiana whispered, "If we keep it, our lives will change forever." Shantae nodded slowly. "But if we give it away, it may fall into the wrong hands someday." The wig touched both their shoulders gently, like it was choosing them all over again. And Shantae whispered the words that sealed everything. "We'll keep it." The wig glowed brighter, its acceptance clear. But in the shadows outside the apartment, a faint voice hissed, "Then I will return." After the confrontation with Kasim, silence settled over the apartment like a fragile blanket. For the first time in days, Shantae lit a candle and breathed without fear. The wig sat peacefully on its silk stand, glowing faintly from time to time as though monitoring the room. Tiana sat across from it, arms folded. "I swear, living with this wig feels like living with a magical toddler." Despite the tension, both women felt a deep sense of responsibility settling on their shoulders. They had chosen to protect the wig, and the wig, in its own strange way, had chosen them back. "We're in this together," Shantae whispered. Tiana nodded, though her stomach twisted with anxiety. Peace never lasted long where spirits were involved. Mama Okoro called early in the morning, her voice somber. "Today, you will learn the final truth. Meet me in my daughter's old salon." She sent an address, an abandoned shop on the quiet side of town. The sign outside read, "Okoro Hair and Spirit Care," hanging crookedly, worn by rain and time. The windows were dusty, but something inside hummed with ancient energy. Inside, the air smelled like old oils, burnt sage, and forgotten stories. Mama Okoro sat in the center of the room, surrounded by wig stands covered in fabric. "Sit," she commanded. They obeyed. The guardian wig has one final transformation. It must either ascend or perish. And the one who determines that is its bonded keeper. Shantae felt her chest tighten. "Me!" Mama Okoro nodded. "And her." She pointed to Tiana. Mama Okoro removed the covering from a dusty mirror. "Look." Shantae and Tiana stared into glass. Their reflections rippled, distorting, shifting. Then the wig appeared floating beside them, glowing golden. A faint silhouette stood behind it, female, gentle, with braided hair that shimmered like sunlight on water. She was my daughter, Ifioma. Mama Okoro whispered, a giver of confidence, a protector of women. She placed a piece of her spirit inside each wig she crafted before she died. Tears rolled down her cheeks. You have seen its anger, but also its love. It carries her purpose, and now it seeks a new path. Tiana wiped her eyes. So the wig isn't just magic, it's someone. Yes, Mama Okoro breathed, and she is listening. Before they could speak further, the lights in the salon flickered violently. A heavy wind smashed against the boarded windows. The mirror trembled, cracks zigzagging like lightning. Mama Okoro grabbed the serpent comb again. He is here. A shadow seeped under the door like smoke. Kasim's voice oozed into the room, slick and venomous. At last, the guardian and its chosen keepers. The wig snapped to attention, curls rising like blades. Shantae clutched Tiana's hand. Tiana whimpered, "I'm not ready for supernatural warfare." Kasim materialized as a tall, dark figure draped in shadows, his eyes burning silver. "Give it to me," he hissed. "Ifeoma's spirit belongs to me. She defied my teachings. Her magic was mine." Mama Okoro stepped in front of him. She chose freedom. She chose love. She chose protection. Kasim raised a hand. The wig's curls flared in defiance. The walls shook. Bottles fell. Old hair dryers swung like pendulums. Kasim launched a wave of black energy toward the wig, but the curls formed a barrier, spinning in glowing gold. Shantae and Tiana ducked behind a counter as sparks flew. "Shantae!" Mama Okoro shouted. "The comb!" Shantae grabbed the serpent comb, but it vibrated violently in her hands. "It doesn't like me. It responds to the truth." Mama Okoro cried, "What is in your heart?" Shantae steadied herself, breathing deeply. "I want to protect it. I want to honor it. And I won't let anyone take it." The comb glowed brightly. Kasim snarled and sent another blast. This time, Shantae raised the comb, and the blast shattered into harmless dust. Tiana peeked over the counter. "Shantae, girl, you are a whole superhero right now." The wig floated between Shantae and Kasim, glowing so brightly the entire room was bathed in gold. Mama Okoro whispered urgently, "It is making its choice." The silhouette of Ifeoma appeared again, clearer and brighter this time. She touched the wig gently, and the curls softened. Then she turned to Shantae and Tiana. "You showed loyalty, courage, and honesty," she said in a soft voice only they could hear. "You gave me peace when my spirit was restless." Shantae's eyes filled with tears. "What do you want from us?" Ifeoma smiled sadly. "To be released." Tiana gasped. "Released? Like retiring the wig?" "No," Ifeoma whispered. "Setting my spirit free." Kasim roared. "No, her spirit belongs to me." He lunged forward, but the wig, now glowing brighter than ever, shot a beam of golden light at him. He screamed and staggered backward. The shadows around him broke apart like smoke in a storm. Mama Okoro lifted her hands in prayer. "Ifeoma, my child, be free." The wig rose higher, curls unfurling like wings. A burst of golden energy exploded outward. Kasim shrieked as he was thrown across the room, collapsing into dust and shadow that melted into the floor. When the light dimmed, the salon was quiet, peaceful, warm. The wig drifted downward, landing softly in Shantae's arms. The silhouette of Ifeoma appeared one last time, smiling. "Thank you for protecting me, for seeing me, for giving me balance. My mother loved me, and now, through you, I have finished my purpose." Shantae whispered, "Will we ever see you again?" Ifeoma shook her head gently. "Not as a guardian, but I will watch over you in other ways. In confidence, in strength, in truth." The wig glowed, then slowly dissolved into light, strand by strand, curl by curl, until nothing remained except soft, shimmering dust resting on Shantae's palms. Tiana sniffled. "I can't believe she's gone." When they returned home, the apartment felt different, lighter, refreshed. Shantae placed the empty wig stand in the corner. "Feels weird without her," she whispered. Tiana nodded, like a roommate moved out. A few days later, a package arrived at their door with no return address. Inside was a new wig, beautiful, simple, natural black curls. No glow, no spirit, no magic, just a note. For protection of the living, not the dead. Mama Okoro. Shantae smiled softly. A regular wig, no spirits attached. Tiana laughed with relief. Girl, thank you. I was not ready for season 2. Months later, life returned to normal. Classes, work, brunch dates, and petty roommate arguments. But sometimes when Shantae styled a new wig, she felt a soft warmth on her shoulders, like a gentle hand guiding her. And sometimes, when Tiana walked past the empty wig stand, she swore she saw a tiny flicker of gold light, just for a second. But there were no whispers, no movements, no floating curls in the night. The guardian wig had completed its journey. Its spirit had found peace. Its legacy lived on in the hearts of the 2 women who helped free it. And though Kasim was gone and the magic faded, Shantae and Tiana would never forget the wig that taught them loyalty, honesty, and the strange, beautiful power of a bond formed between the living and the spirit of a girl who loved to protect.